Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to take you on a tour of the plants that are going up for our Facebook sale, which is on this coming Friday. Oh shit, I don't even know what date that is. What date is it today? Today's Wednesday when I'm filming this. Anywho, so less chatty, more planty. Let's rock and roll. Starting out with this is an Astrophytum mysterious. Sold a few of these in the past. I think we're literally down to like the last couple. It's kind of like dichotomous. Sometimes they throw crested flowers, but really cool. It's on a tiny little nub of spatch, so you won't even see it. So I know a lot of people don't like the look of grafted plants. Don't worry, you're not alone. I don't either. I think they look much better on their own roots. But with the hidden stock or short stock, once you pop it in a row of plants, you won't even see it. I'd probably display it that way, but you won't even see it. So this is flowering size. The spatch will keep going for ages. You don't have to worry about that. Next up, this is Brown Ninja. I call them Brown Ninja, but Brown Ninja, Hertland, something or bloody other. I don't know. The names are ridiculous, but nice little blue guy. I've only got 2 of these. I'm selling both of them. I don't really pursue columns, but sometimes I end up with them. But anywho. So this guy here, it's seed grown, never grafted, and cute little things. Spines are absolutely savage, and they develop a beautiful blue, frosty sort of color with age. This is Trichoceros pachinoid, big plim, which is like a CV or cultivar, crossed with Dawson's short spine Tashekii, which is DSST for short. This is variegated. I've had this guy growing in a little bit more shade, but I think if you were to put it in more sun, stronger light, it will color up a lot better. So you've got some good variegation through the body. This is a 125ml pot. This is a seed grown plant, never grafted. This is a Gymnocalycium. You'll get your turn. This is Gymnocalycium asterium. This is again a seed grown plant, never grafted. This guy's got some battle wounds, some splits. They're all healed and everything, don't stress. But it kind of adds to the patina. So there's 2 sort of main types of Gymnocalycium. You're gonna have your juicy ones, like Baldianum, Horstii, and there's a whole bunch that fall under Horstii, Bunekii, and all that sort of thing. Those ones generally will look better with softer conditions, so softer light, more water, a little bit more organics. And then you move into this type, which is the ones that I like the most and the ones that I grow the most of, and they're the more rugged ones. So they've got thicker skin, they're very textured. So these ones here, in my opinion, look better if with less water and stronger light. Obviously, always acclimate things first, but you can really emphasize the spines, the skin, and things like that for these harder bodied ones. So this is again Gymnocalycium asterium. Obviously flowering size, and never grafted. Oh, hang on, my water bottle's making weird noises. It's gonna sound like I farted. It's gonna sound like I farted. There's no 2 ways about it. Fuck. Astrophytum mysterious. This is a 5 rib, absolutely beautiful. It's got some funk coming in through the ribs down here. This is from seed from Thailand originally. Again, this one's on a really short little nub of stock. So if you don't like the look of grafted plants, but you want something that's a bit easier to care for, because grafted is always easier by a mile, this is the way to go. But beautiful plant, 10cm pot or 100ml, decent size, and I'm pretty sure the flowers are pink. I can't remember exactly, but anywho, so this is going up as well. Really, really beautiful. There's a small split down here which happened quite a while ago now, so it's fully healed, don't have to stress about that. Nice hairy little guy. This is Esperstoa nana. This is a crest. Now with this one, you've got the main head in here, and there's another head coming off there and there. I'm pretty sure that this head is crested, but this one over here looks like it's reverting to normal growth, but you've definitely got the crest in here, and I'm pretty certain this one here is as well. But this is on Harrisia justbirdii, which is a permanent stock. Meaning that you don't really ever need to degraft it. You can bury this more if you want to reduce the stock height. That's no problem. Don't go crazy, but up a little bit more, no issue at all. the Harrisia will support a scion for until it dies. Like it's a tough, very tough and reliable stock. So I like this stock a lot, but I love this. This is one of the Rokotsu. So in the Rokotsu, which have sold quite a few of them and a lot of different clones of them, we are coming towards the end of them now. But this one here is a little bit different in that it always retains some level of lime green color. I don't want to call it variegated, but I think it's just its natural coloring. This one here has been grown in stronger light, so that it's a lot more lime green. But the one, I have the same clone within my personal collection, and I grow my Astrophytum under pretty soft light. I baby them. So my one is much more green, but will always retain some level of lime green. But this is a decent sized plant. It's on Trichoceros spatch, or Spachianus. Spatch doesn't die. Spatch has its flaws, but it doesn't die. What happens with it long term? Once this scion gets bigger and bigger, this will actually start to collapse in on itself and will essentially become nothing more than a root system for the plant. I've observed this over multiple years, but also equally, if you wanted to, you could degraft this plant. Me personally, I'd probably grow it on for another season or two, get the most out of the stock, and then take it off. I've got a degrafting video already up on YouTube, so please do check that out. I'll leave a link for it, and the second part of that is coming up soon. But yes, this is Astrophytum Rokotsu. Since we're not allowed to legally import seeds anymore, plants like this are incredibly valuable for genetics. Let's keep it going. We have Ariocarpus retusus crossed with cauliflower. This guy here, we can start to see the cauliflower trait coming through. Being that it is a retusus as the mother, I probably wouldn't be expecting the full, clusterfuck that is cauliflower from this. But it is showing some interesting character. It's got nice wool. This is a decent sized plant as well. We're looking at 100 mil or 10 centimeter pop, and it's on a good old chunk of Trichoceros pachinoi. So this is going to be able to support this plant for a long time. With this as well, if you don't like the really tall stock, you can absolutely cut it and reroot this bit and reduce the stock height down to your preference. It can be quite short as well. This guy here has a raised union, doesn't affect growth or anything like that. This has been grafted for over a year, so it's firm, it's growing. I'm not going to say quickly because it's Ariocarpus and they don't grow quickly, but it is growing by Ariocarpus standards. This is another Rokotsu. This is a different clone. So the Rokotsu cultivar is generally characterized by, I don't want to say a plain myriostigma, but not quite as funky traditionally as this one. This one has a lot more funk than this one, but this one here is what you would consider the classic form, is for it to become a lot more rounded, a lot more voluptuous. They're absolutely gorgeous. What the hell is that? But they always will have some level of funk in the rib margins, and this will become stronger as the plant grows. So this is what you would consider a classic Rokotsu form, which is big, round, chunky, and by now most people know how I feel about round and chunky plants. Love them. So this is a really nice one. I love this plant a lot. And that one and that one, I have both clones within my personal collection. So love them a lot. Flowering size as well. So if you want to make seeds, buy something a little bit bigger. It's on spatch again, so perfect, and a fairly tasteful stock height. These beauties. So, Lophophora, Williamsii, classic straight up version. No hybrid, no other shenanigans that go with it. They're obviously both flowering size, and these are seed grown, never grafted. I've got no hesitation in saying, hey, this is a degraft or whatever. As many of you will know, I sell a lot of degrafted plants, so no hesitation if they were degrafts in saying that they are, but these aren't. These are seed grown. So what you can expect for the taproot is one single carat. Absolutely beautiful. These are super frosty, ridiculously difficult to photograph. I've tried so many times, and it's funny, the ones that I have sold and people have got them, nearly everyone has written to me and said, oh my God, these are amazing. And I'm like, I know, I just can't get the photos right. I try so hard. But anywho, this one here has got a seed pod, so that will come with it. They're starting to develop some nice wool tufts as well. How do you grow them? High mineral mix, and if you don't have access to all the gravel, just use a lot of perlite. Seriously, it's that simple. Lots of perlite. In terms of the light, that comes down to personal preference. I generally grow them in a little bit softer light because I like them to look a little bit softer and juicier. But if you like that the sort of harder, more weathered look, you can ramp them up to some pretty strong light and they'll take it. So yeah, I've got 2 of these available. Coming up next, and there's actually going to be 2 of these coming up. These are both different clones. These were originally grafted, so these are degrafts. These were originally grafted to Echinopsis. I took them off the peri, and now they're on their own roots. These are Echinopsis Unterlagen. I have no friggin' clue what Unterlagen means, and I really don't care, because I'll tell you now. If you've been following my socials or anything like that, and you've seen those massive, super vibrant flowers, the huge ones, that's what these are. So all of them, all of the ones that I've shared over the last month or 2 now, these are all Unterlagen. They're incredible. So we've got 2 different clones here. They look, to the untrained eye, they look similar, but to me, no, they're completely different. This one's lighter, this one's darker, different spines, blah, blah, blah. So I would expect different flowers. These 2 haven't flowered yet. They need bigger pots. And as is the case with a lot of the flowering trichotypes, they need some room. So ideally put them in the ground. These will not flower this season. I don't think so anyways. But yeah, these are Unterlagen. I sold some Unterlagen when in the early days of Spine City, and then they weren't so popular, I think, because a lot of people were maybe a little bit nervous around, what's the flower going to be like, what if it's, you know, ugly or plain. So yeah, fair enough. So I pulled them from sale and I ended up potting them up into massive pots. I put them in 20 centimeter pots with a decent amount of organics in there, and then they flowered, and then I'm like, right decision. So I'll be honest with you, I've kept nearly all of them. Apart from the few that were sold in the early days, I've kept all of them. So this is, I've got a few sort of surplus to the space that I've got allocated for them. So I would really recommend getting one of these. I really don't think you'll be disappointed with the flowers. They're some of the best I've ever seen. This guy here, this is a Lophophora. It's Thai genetics. Its code is S180.1, which means absolutely nothing to if you're watching at home, but it gives me a reference, so I can actually show you what these look like when they pack on a bit of size. Absolutely beautiful, big, round, juicy lof, huge, big fluff tufts. Really, really big. This guy here's got some pups. So let's say you want just the one head. That's usually my objective when I graft anything, is to produce one clean single head, like a specimen piece. So in this case where you've got all these extra pups, what do? What you might sort of want to do is cut them off. I would suggest against that if your objective is for one clean single head, because when it makes pups, it's a response to it getting absolutely completely jacked by the stock. So let them go a little bit until the main head gets a little bit larger, then take them off. By that stage, this should have calmed down a little bit, and it'll allow you to produce that one head. It's a bit of a balancing act. FK1. So this is probably one of the, maybe the simpler, maybe more refined, we should say. More refined FK1s. Oh, little spider, hey guy, hey, come here. Hey, you're not going, you're staying with me. I don't know, hopefully the camera's picking it up, but little spider jumping around. I love those guys. So this guy here, this is FK1, on a nice little short piece of cereus stock, so it's not obnoxious or anything like that. Super easy to degraft too. Got some lovely white bands down the body of the plant, and these nice little notches coming in through the ribs. But this is not one of the more crazy FK1s. In saying that, I got no idea what this plant's going to do long term. I grow a lot of FK1s personally and also for the nursery, and they just always just come out with something different. I still can't make sense of the plant, but I absolutely love it. So that's FK1 in a 100ml pot, good sized plant. Aha! Epithelantha bockii crest. Again, nice big chunky piece of patch stock. You can see here, super firm, nice little spiky cucumber base. These are absolutely fabulous. Really tight spines, bright white, beautiful plant. Strange little divot in the, or bump in the middle there. So anyways, huge fan of that one. Oh, a bit of a throwback. We haven't had these in months, years. I don't know. Some amount of time. It's Gymnocalycium hanavicii, Thai genetics, nice dark green body. I can't remember what the flower color is. It's not variegated, but it's just a nice classic Mahano. So that's seed grown, never grafted. So this one here is Gymnocalycium hyperplurum. This one was never grafted. This sort of falls in between like the armored ones and the juicy ones, because there's a couple of ways you can take the hyperplurum. You can grow them softer and they'll become more voluptuous and juicy. This one here has been grown a little bit on the harder side. That is stronger light, less water, high mineral mix. And so what we've got is this sort of like fusion between sort of like the armored look and then the juicier look. So totally up to you how you grow them. So the last of the big stuff, and then we'll move down into the front row. This is Gymnocalycium pseudo-raganesii. Look, here's the thing with some of the names that float around, especially for things like Gymnocalycium and Ariocarpus, which are very complex genre. Sometimes a name will filter through a seed catalogue or a collection or whatever it might be. It happens. It happens even within Australia. There's certain Gymnocalycium that apparently exists nowhere else. But anywho, this is pseudo-raganesii. Does it have another name? Oh, probably, but this is the name that I've known it as for many years now. But anywho, let's get back to the plant. This is a total warrior of a gymno. Thick skin, hard, thick spines, absolutely gorgeous. Flowering size, clearly. These guys here, you're not going to get much benefit from growing this softly. You're better off, and it's going to look nicer if you grow it a little bit harder. So high mineral, low water, strong light. Whenever you're doing, if you're ever transitioning a plant from one sort of range of conditions to another, always do it slowly. And however slowly you think you need to do it, slow it down even further than that. But these here, I've been growing this one here pretty hard for a while. So if you get it home, let it have a rest for a few days to a week to sort of settle in, and then slowly ramp it up to stronger light, and you can keep it going at this. Again, you're probably not going to get much benefit from growing this plant softly. It'll probably grow faster, but speed isn't everything. This here is a mixed tray of Lithops. All the Lithops that I sell are seed grown by me. They are at the bare minimum 2 years old. I grow Lithops very slowly, probably slower than cactus actually. I just find it leads to stronger and healthier plants. So you'll see that none of these are over bloated or like, you know, towering Lithops, which are just gross. So these are all actual species. They're not hybrid or anything like that, but they're from mixed species seeds. So they're unnamed, but you know, oh, that one's Dorothea. Get them home, jump on the internet, spend half an hour if you're really interested in the names. Me, I just grow Lithops because they're bloody cool. So this is going to be sold as an entire tray. Nice little mix in here. you need at least a couple of Lithops. Everyone does, just to pat them. Just the texture of them is just so incredible, and they're all different. So if you're not sure on how to grow them, you're thinking, oh, I don't know, send me an email, send me a message on Facebook, whatever. I've got a full guide that I wrote. It's not some copy and paste crap off the internet. I wrote it for Australian conditions, and it's based on actual real world growing experience. So if you want that, let me know and I'll send it to you. But honestly, they're easy. How are you going to kill Lithops? Number one, by trying to grow them inside. Lithops are not indoor plants. That needs to stop. It needs to stop. They are not indoor plants. And any seller that tells you that Lithops are indoor plants cares more about acquiring your money than you growing a plant successfully. Grow them outside. They love the sun. They absolutely love the sun. Even from when they're tiny. Like, I sow the seeds and the seedlings are in with the adults from the beginning. They love it. So give them strong light. Don't water them very often. They'll be fine. Worst thing that happens if you don't water them enough is they'll shrink back down and become almost often flat, if not semi-buried. But they will come back as soon as you water them. They come from very arid areas. So just give them that and they'll be super happy. Cool. All right. Staying on with the Lithops theme, the next one is, this is a curated pack. Oh, that sounds so fancy. I just picked out 4 green ones. Here we've got, these are all unique varieties. These again are unnamed, but they are all completely different. But yeah, so curated pack of 4, and they're all green. Because you can never have enough green Lithops. All right, coming up next is Copiapoa hypergaea, Gaia, whatever. This one here is not seed grown. This is a degraft, and it's a select form. So, but it is 195864. So if you've bought a degrafted hypergaea in the past and you want a breeding pair, let me know. Tell me what platform you bought it from and in what month, and I'll be able to tell you whether it's what clone it is. I record all of that. I have since the beginning. But anyways, cute little thing. Some nice little pups off the side. This thing here is busting out of this pot. It needs a bigger pot. So like this pot's starting to go round, which happens. Up next, we have Pyrocactus cabildo. Don't know what that means, but cool plant. Really, really cool. Sharp spines, nice body. You can make them more purple, water them less, and give them stronger light. Mine grow in pretty strong light already because I want that gnarly look. But yeah, these are really, really cool. Pyrocactus are probably some of the more savage Ariocysts. They're always on the more savage side. We got here, this is Neochilenia carazolensis. Beautiful dark body, really dark purple, absolutely stunning. These stay fairly small. They will get a decent size, but they're not gonna, take over. So if you like something that's a little bit more manageable, this is one to pick. This tiny little minion, believe it or not, this plant is actually older than all of these. It is a highly variegated Ariocyst hybrid seeds that I produced. It's as tough as an old boot. I've got this thumping in sun. I water it sometimes, so it's tiny but it's mighty. So if you're a stickler for the seed grown plants and don't like grafted or degrafts or whatever, and you want a variegated Ariocyst, this is it. These don't come up very often. I usually graft the variegated ones because they are just so insanely slow, so slow. Slow doesn't mean weak always. Sometimes it does, but in this case, it's tough. Just doesn't grow very fast. It's got beautiful color, which is not going to photograph well. I can tell you that right now. Ariocyst lost label. This is most likely going to be an occulta, but really beautiful purple. I don't think it's variegated. It's got some pink coloring in there, but I think that's probably just a little bit of sun stress. This one here is a degraft, but it's a lost label. But yeah, it's super pretty. Sticking with the Ariocyst, we've got These were really popular in the first, I think, year or two of Spine City opening, but I'm down to just a few pieces now. So this is a little degraft. It will have a crazy root system. So with the degrafts, so if this was seed grown, it would be like the lofts and have a single carrot. But when you degraft or take cuttings for things that usually produce taproots, the root system changes, and what ends up happening is it still makes like taproots, but they're more like a miniature version. So you'll have multiple taproots as opposed to one singular one, which reduces the chances of rotting. So this is a small little plant. It's only tiny, very slow growing, very slow. We've got a little Echinopsis pectinatus, cute little seed-grown minion, absolutely beautiful. White spines, and the new spines come through in a really pretty pink color. And I think this might be the last of this. This is an Echinopsis from our house blend, which is just basically a mixture of different Echinopsis seeds all lumped in together. Usually they have really nice flowers, often scented, but so this is just sort of like a little Echinopsis mongrel, if you will. But they grow out really nicely actually. Some of them have fragrant flowers too. All right, let's mix it up. Let's find something different. So this one here, this is a Gymnocalycium hybrid. Just something fun to take a gamble on. You never know how it's going to turn out. Gymnocalycium ferrarii, and this one has some other stuff after the name. JO123, and the Mesa Garden reference is #464.077. So this is seed grown, never grafted. Cobwebs not included. I'm keeping those, thank you. But these are really gorgeous, cute little Gymnocalycium ferraris or ferrarii, however you say it. Absolutely magnificent little creatures. So cute little one for the gymno collectors. Thallocactus Phimothallos. These are psycho good, psycho good. Absolutely gorgeous. These ridges and notches in the body, they intensify with age, and you end up with these like geometric patterns. Absolutely incredible. So I love those a lot. It's bittersweet selling these. It really is. So these are Ariocarpus hybrid SCG, Spine City genetics. And they've been really popular, which has been great to see. So this plant here is coming up on 6 years old now, and they are probably the slowest and hardest I've ever grown Ariocarpus. There was only a small sort of selection that actually survived the trial, and this is it. So we're down to, I think there's like 3 or 4 left now, but yeah, so 6 years I've been working on these tiny little plants for, and pretty soon they'll all be gone. So anywho, that's one of the last ones. Got here Labivia Leucomella, I think it's called. These grow into big fat barrels, huge big bright yellow flowers. So this needed to be repotted about 2 years ago. So pop it into a 10, maybe even a 20 centimeter pot. It's just going to pump. So lots of flowers here already, and it'll probably flower again throughout the season. They generally do. Labivia S9. So Labivia S9, which is a very dull name for such a cool plant. It's an arachnocantha. Has a bicolored flower. The flower is somewhat variable based on conditions, but I found the best way to get it to flower nicely is strong light, and be generous with the water when it's growing. These are as tough as an old boot. You won't kill it, but strong light, and give it a decent amount of water when it's growing and when it's flowering. Alrighty, so we've got here Notocactus submamulosa, Molosis. I fucking hate these names. I love the plants. I fucking hate the names. I'm sorry, but I do. They're just ridiculous. How are you supposed to say this stuff? Anyways, this is it here. They have a yellow flower, cool spines, shiny body. These pack on a bit of size as well. So once they start getting a bit bigger, that's when they get a little bit crazy. Not a cactus, I think are generally overlooked. People are like, oh, that's common. But they look cool, so who gives a shit? But yeah, really cool little plant. Love these. Spines are starting to come through nice and strong, as you can see here. I'm going to put the name of this one up on the screen because I haven't got it on my cheat sheet. If you think, oh, you don't know what your plants, well, I do, but I have a really big catalogue, so it's hard to keep track of all of them, and sometimes I'll have like 5 different types of Spegazinii, or 10 different types of whatever else. It's hard to pick which one is which, but I'm pretty sure this is a Labivia thionantha. If it's not, it'll be one of the Echinopsis. Gymnocalycium, like the more savage ones, which is my favourite ones, they get lumped into Labivia sometimes. So sometimes I'll buy Labivia thionantha seed, other time I'll buy a Gymnocalycium, I don't know, like minutum seed or glaucum seed or something like that, and they end up being basically the same plant. So, anywho's, that's cactus for you. But this seed grown, I don't even like selling these, but because I want to keep them all. But absolutely incredible, savage little beast, beautiful body, so clean. All right, we're down to the last tray, so let's have a look at what we've got here. This one here is one of it's just me, Labivia hybrid. This one here has a lovely pink flower with nice white sort of cupping around the outside of it. This is an original seed grown plant and has never been cloned before. Next up, have Mammillaria lasiacantha SB 255, I think it is. Cute little fluff ball, absolutely gorgeous. This one here is, I'm sorry, I need the cheat sheet for this. This is Thalocactus rinconsonensis Freudenbergerii. Fuck me. So this one, what makes this difference to the regular kind is an addition of a spine. The spines on these get psycho, and the flower is pink. So that's a pretty cool one. Astrophytum myristigma FK1. And this one here is one of the more funky ones. So this guy here is going to develop super funk. Lots and lots of funk in the ribs here. So if you want something that's a little bit more wild, this is the way to go. Oh, last of these ones. I don't have any more of these. This is the last one. So this one here is a Trichoceros crest. And you ready for the cross? Because this is fucking ridiculous. So the mother plant is Super Pedro crossed with Scopulicola. That's then crossed with Pachinoi monstrose, which is then crossed with Pachinoi huancabama. I don't know what the fuck that means. Anyways, it's a crested tricho. It's really cool, and it's got this nice little bit coming off the side, which looks more like a normal growth. Alrighty, we're nearly there. Cool. This here is Gymnocalycium gibbosum brachypetalum P100. These are really limited. The seed for these come from Europe, and I couldn't get many seeds of them, but they will be different. So brachypetalum is pretty broad in that there's quite a bit of variety in between the different types. They're all going to look somewhat similar, but there will be variances. So if you're a gymno collector, you'll be like, yeah, I need all of them. But yeah, so there's only going to be, I think, 3 of these in total available. The remainder, which is not many, the seeds didn't germinate that well. The remainder are going to be kept for future production. Really, really cool. I can't even say these fucking names, seriously. Labivia Jojoiana nigrostoma. I don't know. It's a Labivia. It's really cool. They're really pretty, and the flowers are going to be absolutely psycho. I'm going to put these two together. They're different. These are Loph hybrids from my own seeds. These are 2 different clones. So they're quite different. This one here is a bit more green. This one here is a bit more blue. I get some pretty cool looking plants, especially Lophs, out of my hybrids. So I have really high hopes for these. In terms of being funky, unusual, different, certainly not your average Loph. Oh, another one that we're nearly out of actually. This is, and I made a lot of Gymnocalycium Spegazinii So after the first year of business with Spine City, one of the most popular lines and most requested was Spegazinii. So I'm like, you want speg? Okay. So I went out and I bought, I think, a dozen or more varieties, different varieties from different varieties of Spegazinii. So let's see. So it's Spegazinii DJF 248 with a Mesa Garden reference of hashtag 489.1. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Everyone needs spegs. All right. One of the freaks. Yes. These have been really popular. People have loved these, and I can see why, because they're just absolutely ridiculous. So this is Astrophytum mysterious Kiko, but we've ended up with this just mess of just ripples and bumps. This one here is actually pretty cool because it's got like fluffy dots on it. So that's something really, really fun to watch grow out. I don't know, honestly, I don't know if they're crested. Sometimes you can look at it and go, okay, that's crested, but something like this, I just call them freaks because I don't know what it's doing and I don't think it does either. So, all right, Astrophytum, Myriostigma, Big Hakuyo, Hecaran. This is not the clusterfuck version that that we've had in the past. It's the same seed, but the clusterfuck one, that's just something that happens sometimes when you grow from seed, and when you grow a lot from seed, is that sometimes you just end up with something that's just strange, just unusual. But this one here is going to follow more of the classic form, and that would be that you're going to have one main head. This one has little UFOs coming off it. If you don't want them, just knock them off. Like, you can literally just flick them off. I'm not going to do it because in case somebody wants all the little babies. Some people like that clustered look. These ones here, seed come from Japan, so good quality genetics. Oh, this little Luthii, and lovely pink flower as well. This one's got a little bit of damage down at the base there, but don't worry about it. It's just looks like a little bit of sunburn, but it'll grow out and form this glorious cluster as they do. So this is another one where the seed come from Japan, and this is Hecaran Nishikii. Nishikii means variegated. So this guy here is like a full orange, sort of yellow kind of deal. Will the color hold long term? Great question, and not one that I or most people would be able to answer. You need to grow them out. It will always have some level of color, but whether that color then switches to being more of a traditional variegation where you've got green and color, or whether it behaves more in the way of a koyu. Koyu is the one where they shift throughout the seasons. They color up in autumn and winter, and then they fade back down to green in the warmer months. I'm honestly not sure. Either way, it's got good funk, good character, and a fun one to watch. And lucky last, Ariocarpus F2 hybrid, which I made. So the F2 crosses. So F2 means it's the second generation of a hybrid, and these are the parent plant is an occulta. This guy here, beautiful purple body, nice notches, coming into flower as well. Absolutely beautiful. The flowers generally get a little bit more wild as well. So cute little plant, and a great one to grow out. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, happy gardening. Bye.